Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Good Morning Soul. I hope you guys are waking up feeling fresh, getting some breakfast, and for all of you that woke up like at 5 a.m., I understand your struggle, and today we're going to be talking about that. If you guys remember my origin to this series, basically the idea came to me like after I just started watching a bunch of YouTube on my way to work, and like I wish I had a content that just said like, hey, good morning every time I was driving to work at 5 in the morning. And when I say like I had work at 5 in the morning, that means that's when my shift started. I had to wake up at like 3:45 a.m. You know, it's a 30-minute drive. I like to get to work at least like 10-15 minutes early, and I obviously have to get ready. And usually I would like set it up so I don't have to do that much in the morning. Like I'd set my clothes out, and I still do this. I don't know why I'm talking like this is the past tense. This is like a day-to-day operation for me. Like right now, it's like the winter hours, so I'm only working like 3-4 days out of the week right now because that's how dead it is at my job. And it's like 10-hour shifts, so thankfully the long-ass shifts balance it out, so I'm not like losing a bunch of money. I'm just losing a little bit of money. But I'm not making that overtime that I was in the summer. Like I remember I would get like at least 20, like I'd get up to like 10 to 30 hours of overtime like in the summer, and I'm going to again this summer. I'm so excited. But yeah, talking about that 5 a.m. life. Basically, our bodies, I don't know like if some people can adapt to it properly. I don't think it's like a normal thing. I do think there's some kind of science to like harnessing the sun's energy. Like if you wake up before then, like you're not like getting all the nutrients of the sun. Whereas like people who wake up before that happens, you know, you're not captivating on that. And good God, like if you start the day at 3 a.m. and other people start at 9, then you have like a 6-hour lead on them. Well, I'm waking up at 4, so let's say like a 5-hour lead. So when it's like 5 p.m. to them, it's like 10 p.m. to you. Or when it's like 8 p.m., it's 1 a.m. to you. And I remember just passing out all the time. Like my girlfriend would get so mad at me. We would go to the movies, and I would just pass the fuck out. And like no one gave a shit. Like no one gives a shit when you wake up this early and you're just tired as fuck all day, and no one gives a shit. Like I would pass out all the time, and no one's like, oh, he wakes up like 6 hours before we do. Like they're like, man, this motherfucker doesn't give a shit about us. He's just falling asleep on us. Like people don't understand. Whereas if I like if they were about to go to bed at like 2 a.m. and I was like, yo, you should come do this thing and go see a movie with us, they'd be like, what the fuck? Go to sleep. Like I'd be like, what are you talking about? I wake up in like 2 hours from now. You know? And working, like I know like a lot of people work like late shifts. A lot of people work at like 2 a.m. Like that's when their shift ends. Like my girlfriend, that's when her shift ends. She works a lot of the time from like 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. So there was a point in time where she would get off at 2 a.m., go to the house, chill for a little bit, and then wake me up like an hour and a half later. And then I'd get up, go to work, and I'd come back at like, at this point in time, I would have been coming back at like 3 p.m., wake her up, like we'd hang out for a little bit, and then she'd go to work, and then rinse and repeat, and then we'd only be like seeing each other for like 30 minutes in a day, or like an hour at the most, because that's how like backwards our shifts were at that point in time. But in the summertime, I'm sure by the time you're watching this, like my hours have already gone back to normal. And usually like summertime, or like the normal time, I would say, like I usually in the summer work from like um, 12:45 p.m. to like 9 p.m. And that is a much probably healthier lifestyle. The only problem with that lifestyle is no one is gonna do anything because you're working when everyone else is having fun. At least, like, even if I pass out a lot during my like current hours, I get off at like 2 p.m. and then I have the rest of the day to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, even if I get like an appointment for some, it'll be like 4 p.m. So I'll be like, oh, I don't have to miss work for this. I just have to, power through the day, which is much easier than like adjusting other people's hours to yours. Like, during the summertime, it would be like, people will be like, oh, are you available this day? And I'll be like, well, I don't get off till like 9 p.m. They'll be like, well, fuck. Or I'll be like, let's hang out during the morning. Like, no one wants to hang out in the morning. And I understand why, but that people don't want to do that, and I understand that. But yeah, the like waking up like isn't a problem for me as long as I get like enough sleep. And nowadays I get enough sleep. Like, I go to bed at reasonable hours. Like, back in the day, like, I would really try and fight like my fucking hours. Like, I would try to maximum the hours in my day by staying up, and I've learned that it's really, a lot of the time, it's really not worth it. Like, especially because now I live with my girlfriend, and she goes to bed, we go to bed at the same time. She'll get mad if I'm staying up throughout all these hours in the night. So I get a decent amount of sleep now, and that's honestly probably better for me, because even if I did stay up, I'd be so fucking, like, I'd be like, let me just stay up and fucking like watch anime or something. Like, I'd be like, I'm too tired to fucking like write or work on videos, so I'll just watch anime. And if I didn't pass out, then I would have no recollection of what happened because I was so goddamn tired. And if there's any day where I also smoke, like if I smoke and also like am working these hours, these 5 a.m. shift hours, I am guaranteed to pass out. And my body, I've gotten a lot better at this, but like I don't lay down that much throughout the day. Like, I know a lot of people who just like relax, like read books laying down, shit like that. But like, whenever I tried to do that back in the day, like, I would immediately fall asleep. Like, if I laid down to read, I would fall asleep. And from what I heard, like, there's a little bit of science to it, because if you stand all day and then if you're either standing or sitting all day and then you only lay down to sleep, then your body associates laying down with sleeping. So it was getting to a point where, like, if I laid down even for a little bit, like, I would be donating plasma and I would fall asleep because I'm laying down. And it would be early as hell in the morning. Not fun times. But yeah, that was my life for a while. And now it's gotten better. I don't pass out as much. I get decent amount of sleep. And my hours are pretty nice right now. I don't have as much money. I'm a broke boy. But I am much happier in the department of sleep and healthiness. So that's an upside. And I'm sure all of this will go away by the time you're watching it, and I'll be back to working the slave hours. Yay! But I'll get that money. The real important thing. This is what we revolve all our lives around. That good old dollar. But anyway, let me know I'm going to completely start over because I just fucked that up. I'm not even going to edit that out. Guys, let me know if you have any horror stories with your shifts and hours and sleeping schedule. I know I got a lot of insomniacs out there. So let me know down below if you have any stories to tell. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another episode of Good Morning Soul. And with that, I leave you.